Now as I come to the dart, I push it to the outside. Zigzag stitch right over that. And then I zigzag stitch to reinforce. All right, now we have stitched our pieces together. We have our skirt, our bodice, and our skirt. Now we're going to give this some extra reinforcement to make this very nice and sturdy. Now, if you wanted to, at this point, you could push the seam up just like this, and you could go all the way along here and top stitch this. Now for our waist tie and our hair tie, we're going to take our piece, place them right sides together. We're going to pin them that way, and we're going to zigzag stitch all the way around, just like this, all the way around, and we're going to leave about 1.5 inches space right here. We're not going to close this in. Now here we have it pinned. I'm going to take it to the sewing machine, and I'm going to zigzag stitch at 1/4 inch. Starting right here, I'm going to come all the way around, and I'm going to stop right here. And I'm going to stop at the pin, reinforce. Now we're just going to turn our piece right side out, right through this hole. So now I'm going to just top stitch, zigzag stitch to close this opening right along here. And that's all. Now we're going to put the tie on whichever side you choose as the front of your bodice. I'm going to take the center of the tie and the center of your bodice right here between the darts. Now make sure that this right here is up and not down, because you want that extra reinforcement there, that extra fabric to hold your tie in place. Now what I've done is I've centered my tie, I've pinned right here in the very center. Now I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, and I'm actually going to take this center pin out, and I'm going to zigzag stitch up and down right here, back and forth several times. Now remember, I'm not going all the way to the edge, I'm going between pins, from this pin to this pin, back and forth a few times to secure this in place. Alright, now I'm going to stitch back and forth between those two pins. I stop when I come to that pin, and I go backwards. I stop at that pin and I go forwards again. There we go. As you can see, I've gone back and forth several times between those two pins. Now I want to show you on the other side, I did catch those raw edges and stitch them in place. So that's going to give our tie on the other side a little bit more stability. Okay, here we have it. Now it's starting to look like our cute swim dress. I'm just going to simply tie this in place. Alright, now we're going to stitch our side seams of our dress. Here's our dress. We're going to fold it over just like this, and we're going to start at the underarm seam. We're going to line those up very carefully and put a pin there. Going to come down to the waist seam. I'm going to line that seam up very carefully as well, and I'm going to put a pin there. So we want our seams to line up. Same thing on the other side. We're going to line those seams up first, and then we're going to continue pinning all the way down the rest of the dress. Right, now that I've pinned the underarm and the waist seam, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pin all the way down the side of my dress. Now I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and I'm going to zigzag stitch this at 5/8 inch. Starting right here at the sleeve, I'm going to come to the underarm and pivot and come all the way down the skirt. Let me show you how. There I am at the underarm seam now. I'm going to lift my presser foot and I'm going to turn my piece. Now remember, I have my needle down, so I'm going to turn my piece, and this is just a very simple pivot. Now I'm going to zigzag stitch all the way down. Now, just like at the waist, I'm going to start again on that seam. I'm going to go all the way down that seam to reinforce it. Another zigzag seam. Now here's our side seam. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side of our dress. Now here's the inside of our dress so far. We have both of our side seams done, and now we're going to turn our dress right side out. Oh, and here it is. It's so cute so far. Now the only thing we have left to do is our hems. We're going to hem our sleeves and we're going to hem the skirt. And let me show you how we're going to do it. As you may have noticed, during this project we have not been finishing our seams. In other words, zigzag stitching right along the raw edges. That's because nylon lycra does not fray. Because of that, we're able to hem in such a way that we just turn this up and zigzag stitch along it. So I'm going to turn it up 1/2 inch, and I'm going to pin it in place. I'm going to do that all the way around the bottom of my skirt, and I'm going to do that all the way around the sleeves. All right, now I'm going to zigzag stitch. And I want to show you that as I come to these side seams, I have opened these up and pinned them open, so they're going to lay nicely. Just like the hem on the skirt, now we're going to do the hem on the sleeves, and we're going to do the same way, opening up the side seam 1/2 inch and all the way around, just turned up, not rolled. And here it is, our beautiful empire waist swim dress. Join us in the next segment when we teach you how to make matching swim pants.